All right, guys, we are back. So, Dalia had a little bit of a tech issue, but we're back on for part two of the show. So, before we had some tech issues, somebody asked a question in the comments saying that they didn't feel like their business was solving a pain point because they were just selling kids' clothing. And I think Dalia just broke up when I was responding to it, but I was telling her my opinion that, I really do think that she is solving a pain point with that product. Dalia,
Yes,
do you have a response for that?
I do. So I want people to leave the idea that they think a pain point has to be like a life-changing issue. I need gas for my car, otherwise it won't run and I can't get to places. But people think, obviously that's a pain point, right? So I need gas, doesn't matter what the price is. But don't think because it's not a need for life that it's not a pain point. Yes, we clothe kids. We have to clothe them. Obviously, they could buy it from the local store. But the idea here, your pain point, I'm not sure who asked the question, is, again, it's not a dire need. But let me give it to you in my example. So I sell stationery. It is absolutely not in traditional sense of pain point. People buy my stuff to write thank you cards, and they also buy my invitations to invite kids to parties, right? Now the pinpoint for me would be my customer really cares about etiquette. In fact, I talk to a lot of them and they believe, that they need to send thank yous after they receive gifts. They need their son to send thank yous after they graduate and they've gotten their gifts. They need to send thank yous when they've gotten married and they received a lot of gifts and somebody attended the wedding. So you might think, okay, that does solve a pain point. So I want you to think about it in terms of your customer and everybody else out there that doesn't feel like they're solving a pain point. For your customer, the pain point, and again, I don't know your exact product line, but I have to guess you have really cool, hip, trendy clothing. They're fun. They're beautiful, bright colors. One, the quality, so they may care about quality depending on your quality stance, right? But also, it is fun and unique. Now, if you go to, I have kids, so if you go to the stores I shop in for my kids' clothing, some of them are cute, but I won't find certain designs. And what your product will solve is that mom that really cares about what her kids are wearing. Now, if you're going to ask me personally, maybe I'm not your target customer, but I care about what my kids are wearing. But moreover, I care about when they are going somewhere, when they have picture day. I shell out money for picture day. I buy Ralph Lauren clothing. I love it, and so that's a pain point for me. Now, some mothers care about what their kids wear all the time, right? They want a certain thing. So that's a pain point they're solving. It's not, something that allows you to live and breathe, but it matters to them. My customers, it matters to them that they write thank you cards. People even buy thank you cards for their 3 and 4-year-olds. You might say, what? Well, they tell me they think it's important, and that's what matters to them. That's a pain point for them, maybe not for you. So believe it or not, a lot of our products, even though it may not seem like it, does solve a pain point. You have to get to know your target customer more to understand what that is.
Yeah. Great. So that was Sunita who asked that question, and she just left a comment. She said, yes, fun, bright children's clothing. I'm having some trouble reading the rest of the comment. If someone else comments, then I think I'll be able to read it more clearly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's a really good point to make. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this idea of people saying, like, I feel like my SEO sucks. And I'm right there with people who say that. So if kind of regardless of the priority that you think SEO should take in your business, if you feel like your SEO is lacking right now, go ahead and just put a 1 in the comments. Let me know if you guys feel like Dalia and this talk about SEO is something that your business needs to at least put some attention to improve. And while I wait for those comments to come in, hopefully we'll get a couple. Part of, I think, my reluctance to even start with it is, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I know that we're going to get into some tips, and you'll talk about some stuff that you have. But the other thing, going back to what we said earlier, is I feel like we talked about kind of products versus services and how traditional your product is. I think another thing that makes SEO more important for a product is that I think the more quantities of things that you need to sell, the higher that quantity is, the more SEO can help cushion you meeting that sales goal.
Yeah. And I also believe why I prioritize SEO over marketing, even if you're a wizard at marketing, is because if me, needed, for this last example, kids' clothing for my daughter's picture day, I am searching for it in some way. I have a true need. I need it at this moment. It's the reason why I'm searching for it. Regardless if I do it online or in person or whatever. But when you're marketing, that customer may not have a need. Your marketing has to be skilled enough where you're making them believe they want it at that moment. So usually with SEO, if somebody finds you in search, the conversion rates will be higher because that's why they searched for you. They didn't feel like searching for you because they were bored. Yeah. They had a need. They thought of something like, let me check where I can buy new workout clothing or whatever. That's a recent example of me personally. So, and I went to, Old Navy. But when you're marketing, it's, for example, let's think about social media. They're looking through their Instagram. They see your product, right? They didn't have quite a need for it. They've seen it, right? And enough repetition or potentially clever marketing, they may buy it. And that's why I prioritize SEO more, because that's the most organic way, in my opinion, when somebody searches and you're then filling that need.
Yeah, well, and I love that you said that, because you're slowly making me, I think, come to the dark side of some of the importance of SEO. I'm just kidding. But as someone who is kind of reluctant to it, I'm starting to see a need for it, especially in this creative market where there are people who are really good at SEO. And if people who are selling products like yours are good at SEO, then those customers who are searching for these things are going to find those other stores higher up in the search results than yours.
Correct.
And that's particularly, important and interesting as it connects with the legal side of things, because people will always say, oh my gosh, Joey, I have this product and, now people are searching for me, but they're actually going to this other business. What can I do? And legally, there's some stuff, not a whole lot, that I can do as an attorney to prevent that, but SEO would be a great way to minimize that happening, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. And I want to just piggyback on what you said, almost kind of give you advice during this call. When you said you're going to the dark side and potentially starting to see how SEO could help you, remember how we talked about, because you're a service-based business and you feel like marketing is more your gig because of your target customer. Ways that you could actually implement SEO is thinking about, they might not search for, I need help filing a trademark. They may search for other things regarding trademarks, regarding LLCs and things. So what you would naturally do is figure out, what's the pain points of my target customer? What are they searching for? They're not searching for a creative attorney. What are they searching for? And to give you an example, because I'm a business owner, I'd probably search for, how do I file a trademark, or how, things like this. So what you would do is take those phrases, and I guess one example would be put it into a blog post, and of course optimize your blog post. Yep. And that's how they find your website, you.
I love that. And this piggybacks on something that Dalia and I talked about while we were prepping for this show, but I was kind of getting some lessons from Dalia on this, and she was telling me that there's a lot of people, when they think of SEO and keywords and search terms, they really think of just descriptors of what you sell. And there's a whole other side of this, which is, what are the terms that really identify how your customers are using your product? And I know you can say that better than I can, Dalia.
Well, let me explain. So, I obviously help a lot of people with SEO, and I see this more often than not. So what we try to do, again, on any platform for products, let's say, we're trying to sell this item right here. So we think about, what is this item? This is a Samsung S7. We say it's black, phone. We use all these kind of words to describe the actual product. And that's great, by the way. You should definitely have some of those. But another way you should really look at it, and this is how, again, think about your target customer, think about your buyers. How else do they search? You think about what they're typing. And you can probably call this a few other things, but think about buyers that sometimes use it, searching for terms regarding the use of your product, regarding where they're going to use it, regarding the occasion they're going to give it for, right? Gift giving. Mm-hmm. So again, the phone is a bad example, but if you think about my product, stationery, other keyword phrases I could use besides personalized stationery, personalized note cards, monogram stationery, blah, 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 is, for example, personalized hostess gift. Okay, because that's a really great gift idea for a hostess. Another idea is baby shower personalized note cards. Okay, because people have to use them for that. So I understand my target customer, why they're using my products. I want to show them.
You're really getting in their heads. Yeah.
Right, because then what's going to happen if Sally, the customer or potential customer, searches for, I need, baby shower thank you cards to, give out for after I get the gifts. That's what she's going to search for, and you want her to find you. And the only way she could find you is if you put, in some form or another, that keyword phrase, again, applying it correctly to your titles and tags or depending on what platform you're on. So, and another example doesn't really apply to stationery, but let's just say you sell artwork. I actually recently have redone my bedroom, new furniture, new everything. I'm looking for art. And I'm very much in the contemporary style. I prefer that. Mm-hmm. So what can I put in my bedroom? I don't know exactly what's going to go up on my wall yet, but I know I want a contemporary and I know I want it to be for my bedroom. So what I was searching for, a few different apps and platforms, was contemporary bedroom art. So I know where it's going to go. I know the use for it, but I don't know exactly what it is yet. When I didn't see what I wanted, I added the word navy because I like the color navy.
Yeah, so, you might end up buying like a navy painting of like an abstract elephant, but you're not searching for abstract
elephant just yet. I don't know what I want. So I encourage people, since you mentioned it, to not only think about exactly what your product is, but the uses for it, the occasions it could be given for. And the way you know that is obviously just thinking about it, but also understanding your target customer. Mm-hmm. If you're very, very new to business, you may not, and that's okay. But just keep that in mind over time. If you've been in business for X amount of years, you should probably know a little something about how people are using your product.
Yep.
Why, who they're giving it to as gifts, so on and so forth.
Really, really interesting stuff that I don't think I would have thought about. So let's talk about if you feel like your SEO is kind of sucking right now. And there might be people who are watching this who have delegated some of their SEO work to like an SEO professional or something. And whether you're doing that or this is kind of all falling on you right now, Dalia, do you have any like kind of quick, easy tips or things you can check on to eliminate some like really bad practices that you see when people are trying to do their own SEO?
Yeah, so I will say this, because you mentioned it first. Try to avoid hiring somebody for SEO. Okay. They may be credible. But the reason why I want you to avoid it only for this fact is because most of us are small business owners. Funds are limited, okay, especially when you're first starting out, and if you hire somebody for SEO, more than likely they're charging you not just a flat fee, but as you continue to add new products, they have to keep charging you. It can get really costly. And again, when we're small, we're bootstrapping a lot of things. And of course, there's some investments for certain things that can get really, really pricey. I'd rather the business owner understand it themselves and work on it themselves. Even if eventually you get so big where you have money flowing, you could hire somebody. I have my assistant working out there. And you could teach them the process of SEO and how to work, because it could get fairly expensive when hiring out. If you have, your wallet's open and you're fine with that, go for it.
Yep.
Most of us are not like that. So I wanted to bring
I love this, and I agree with you. I think if there's any piece of your business that really is key to your business being successful, maybe as it really grows at some point, you can start to delegate that out. But you have to understand how it works. Because the most cost-effective solution for you, kind of in that middle space between doing it yourself and delegating it out, is figuring out how to do it yourself, putting some type of a system together, and then either following that system every time that you do it so that you're not recreating the wheel, or bringing on an assistant who's not an SEO professional but can follow instructions.
Correct, because I've taught people SEO. I taught my husband SEO, my other assistant, so it's very possible. But so to go back into your question, some tips, I guess.
Yeah.
So the first one, I would say. Now, again, it will differ on every platform. So are you asking in general, or are you asking for a certain platform? Every platform is different.
Well, let's talk general, because I know that you have some courses for Etsy and Amazon. And I think if people want to get those inside scoops, then they should check out your courses. But just kind of in general.
Okay, so in general, the first thing I'll say, amongst the three most popular platforms, I'm assuming your viewers are watching now, they're on Etsy, Amazon, and potentially if you care about Google SEO.
Okay.
They are fairly different, actually very different, all three.
I think that in itself is a huge thing that people need to know.
Yeah, very, very different. And I think most of us probably know that Google SEO is very different than Etsy practices. Okay. I would have to also tell you that Etsy, and I love Etsy, by the way, but no offense to them, their search algorithm and how it works is very amateur, in the sense that even though they don't like to really admit it, keyword stuffing is not frowned upon when it comes to getting found in search. So as far as Etsy is concerned, utilizing the space of your title would be very, very helpful to its maximum limit, as much as you can. Using, and across all platforms, using commas as opposed to dashes, slashes, mostly because it saves you space, but also because I want you to think about something, guys. We're all business owners in some form or another. We're all trying to strategize everywhere. That's why you're listening to this call. You care about SEO. You care about this. You care about that. So you have to also understand it's not always about strategy. This is why we also care about customer service. We have to care about the person we're selling to. So when you think about search engine optimization, yes, I want people to find me. I want them to find me all day long. I want to be at the top of the search. I want to wipe my competitors off the face of the earth. But don't forget, these are actual human beings looking at your titles and sorts. So you have to make sure it's readable, user-friendly. So using commas for that respect is probably better than the slashes and dashes. Okay. Especially on Google. Google does not like these slashes and dashes. They'll hate you. Literally, they won't.
Well,
they won't.
Another thing on Google that I found that was interesting. I shout out to Jim and Tyson if they're watching this. They're two attorneys who are fantastic at what they do. If they're still watching this, they probably shouldn't be, because a lot of this is really catered to handmade crafters, but there's some really golden takeaways here. But something that I learned when I was listening to them in their podcast recently is they said that Google is starting to take very seriously the address of your business and the name of your business. And so if you are doing business, if your business is on Google, on Etsy or whatever, if it's not worded the exact same way everywhere, then you get punished on Google for it.
So you mean, the name of my business, and then you said the address, meaning the URL, or do you mean where
I mean the business address. So let me talk about the business name first. So for example, like Indie Law is an LLC. And I'm looking through now and seeing that in some places I say it's an LLC, in some places I don't. If it's not universally the same, then that hurts when people try and search for me. And the same with the address. But what's interesting, if any of you guys are, kind of brick and mortar stores where you're publicizing your business address, this is really interesting. Google they prefer addresses without a street or suite or unit name. So if you can get by, and you might have heard this, Dalia, but if you can get by with taking that apartment or suite or whatever off of your business address, that will also help you get found.
Well, I will tell you that as far as the address is concerned, I was not aware of that. I think only because I mostly, coach or consult online business owners. They may have some brick and mortars, but my forte is online. Yep. But as far as the business name, I absolutely see that. I absolutely see that if it's not consistent across platforms, you lose credibility. But I also want to throw this part out there. Also, another kind of tip regarding Google SEO is that obviously there's some things that will have more weight than others. and there's no exact formula, obviously, because then we would all be at the top of SEO, of Google search. But there's some things that will have much more weight than others regarding Google SEO. And since we're on that topic, let me give you a few tips regarding Google. There's quite a few factors regarding SEO tips on Google. The first direct ways is your URL. Okay, using keyword phrases or keywords in your .com. So if people are looking for personalized stationery, it would be super, super helpful if I was named personalizedstationery.com. Not a 100% deal breaker, but that's really, really great. However, after .com / that extended URL, that also helps using keyword phrases in there. Now take it a step further, your product title is also another factor. And besides obviously being a spot where you can put keyword phrases, it has to also sound natural. The reason why they also like that is because when I'm searching for, how to file a trademark, I see all these search results come up. I, Dalia, am more likely to click on a result that looks like exactly what I searched for.
Right.
So it looks like the exact match. I feel like in my heart that this is going to help me as soon as I click on it. And people are impatient because Google also tells us if your site takes a very long time to load, they're leaving and it won't help you in Google search. So if the title is very similar to what they searched, that also helps. Another thing besides the URL title is image SEO. And that really matters in Google. It does not matter in Etsy or Amazon. So naming your images correctly. The best way to do it, by the way, is not to try to trick Google. How I told you Etsy is very amateur. Google is much more advanced. They know the people that are slick and trying to trick them. Try your best to describe the product. Okay, it's called alt text,
is
right?
Is this actually the file name of the image that you're uploading, or is this like a space for like tagging the image after?
So both. Okay. So to make it easier on you, if you've already named it the correct thing, then great. When you upload it, Google, depending on what platform you sell on, Google automatically, name it the correct thing, name it the file name. However, you're more than welcome to change it on that tag, the alt text tag, to what you want it to actually be. Again, using some keyword phrases, but making it sound natural. It's not just about, let me stuff all these keywords. Google hates keyword stuffing. So image SEO is really important. Another thing is content. So we have description. Again, it has to be very natural sounding. It has to have, keyword phrases in there, keywords in there. This also, not get much more deeper into it, but it has to have unique content. You can't copy your other platforms. They don't like that. So if you're selling on Etsy, Amazon, and your own website, don't copy the same descriptions. Okay. Hates duplicate content. And then there's a few more regarding Google. I mean, there's a plenty. But another tip for the other selling platforms, Amazon and Etsy, is finding what keyword phrases people are searching for. For the most part, especially Etsy, they love connecting the buyer with exactly what they searched for to an item that has that exact keyword phrase. You become more relevant. So just by telling me, I'm getting found on top of the search for, silver microphone, whatever. That's great. But are people searching for that phrase? So you have to understand what people are searching for and then apply it, of course, correctly. Because like my old boss used to say, don't be the winner of the losers. Let me explain to you. I used to work in retail, right? And we used to, and if you ever work in retail, they always have, goals to open credit cards. I used to work in Macy's. And one time, we're a very large store for the district. One time, we barely were under our goal. However, every other store in the district that month was way below us. We're like, yeah, we beat everybody. And my store manager was like, great, you're the winner of the losers. We didn't even make our goal, but we're the top. So the same applies to this. If you're not choosing keyword phrases people are searching for, you're at the top of the search, but nobody's searching for it.
I think that's a really good way to say it. Dalia, you've been throwing out a lot of really, really helpful tips, and I can already tell that if I was to try and implement this, I would get information overload right away in terms of all the possible steps. And so let's talk a little bit about these webinars and these courses that you offer. So I went on your website. It's really not nice. So you can kind of unlock these online courses, and they're broken up into separate classes, right?
You caught me off guard. I didn't know you were going to talk about my webinars, but so yes, it's okay. I thought it was okay. It's okay. So yes, I have several courses. I love the platform I have it on. I came a long way from when I first started doing it because it's much more user friendly. And what I've learned to do was break it up into pieces that are more digestible, right? So like you mentioned, you may be on overload. So a lot of my courses are broken up into very actionable things, of course, including worksheets when necessary. And my style is very much, and my members know this, is very much as no fluff. I teach you, I get to the point, you implement. Not only do I tell you what to do, I tell you exactly how to do it. And the reason why I really pride myself in that is because I mentioned this a few times to my members. I have ADHD, and the way I learn is very, very different. I need to kind of, depending on the project, I need to kind of be, somebody has to hold my hand through it.
Yep.
And it has to be explained in a way. And I understand with all the things that are on our plate, we don't need an extra thing on our plate that we're not going to do. I don't like when people purchase my webinars and not going to implement it. It's like, why did you purchase it? Did it make you feel good to spend that money? And I know I'm being harsh right now, but because I'm purely honest and genuine, where I tell people, hey, don't buy it. This is what you have on your plate. Wait, because, price is not changing. It's exactly the same thing. Wait, because what I don't want you to do is buy it because it sounds exciting. Everybody's like buying it. And then you kind of just leave it there and do nothing. In fact, I met a few people, I don't know if she's watching, in my private SEO group, where she told me she saw all these like fantastic testimonials, people implementing. Cause I recently had a upgrade of the webinar, the SEO webinar for Etsy. And people were implementing, and they're like having these great results. And she's like, oh, people inspired me. She's like, I brought the webinar, I think she said over a year ago. It could be over 2 years, but I think she said over a year ago. She's never implemented it yet. I'm like, where have you been? And in her defense, she has been fairly busy, personal and work, Yep. That's always a good problem to have, meaning if you are, getting the SEO webinar or something, and all of a sudden you have this influx of sales or holiday season comes, sure, I'm not going to be down your back to make sure you're doing it. You're making sales. That's the purpose of us doing any of this, But yes, it's breaking up into pieces so it's easy to digest and easy to understand.
So I think it's awesome. And so there are comments starting to roll in saying Dalia's webinars are gold, worth every penny.
Thanks, guys. I don't see the comments, sorry.
So I love how actionable you make them, how much information that you put into them. I mean, as someone who's in your group, I had seen comment after comment of people praising these webinars that you're putting out. And I think it's really awesome that you have taken what some people might, see as a weakness with your ADHD, and you're kind of funneling that into how can I take the way that I think into really building a course that wouldn't just be helpful to someone like me, but break something down in a way that really should be broken down for this type of a thing. So I think that is awesome.
I want to piggyback on that really quick. I'm very, very particular about that. So when people buy my courses, I really try to over deliver. It means it's really, really important to me that I over deliver. That's why I do free Facebook Lives every day in my group. But as far as breaking down the course in a way to easy understand, I have before, when I created a course, I've had to scrap certain pieces of it and redo it. And that seems very inefficient, but it isn't for me. In fact, I'm in the middle of doing something, some sort of training, and it's taking me a little bit longer than I wanted to. And I know that people want to buy it. They're literally lined up to buy this course that's coming up soon. But I've told them, guys, I hope you appreciate it's taking me a little bit longer, because if it doesn't quite flow the way it needs to flow, not because I'm a perfectionist, but because people are actually using this course, and I have to kind of adjust and redo. Sometimes I even, with my assistant out there, sometimes I go to her because we're side by side. I'm like, hey, I kind of talk to her and kind of bounce my ideas off her, because I need to make sure things are making sense. So I really pride myself in not just throwing a course together because it's demand and then selling it. No. I am very much the person that really, I'm honest, I really care about the user. I want you to implement the course. I want you know why? Because speaking from experience, and I'm very proud of this, I've helped a lot of people. I've changed, according to what they said, changed people's lives. People have quit their full-time job, now doing this full-time. People have paid off, including myself, paid off houses with their job. There's a lot of things that people have told me. It makes me feel really good, and I don't want to lose that. Some people actually think that at one point I'll stop doing free Facebook Lives. There's people that actually encouraged me to charge for a group like this. And I said, no, I wanted to make something very clear. I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but I just have to say
I love it.
Make something very clear. I will stop doing the handmade mastermind the second it becomes not fun for me. The fact that I'm not charging for these Facebook Lives or whatever, it's important to me because I want to have that connection with you guys. If I charged for it, I would feel immense pressure to do it every day, and it wouldn't flow naturally for me when I talk on Facebook Live. It would be horrible. It would be disaster. Anyway, so sorry, I got off on a tangent. I just had to because I really feel passionate about all that.
Yeah, no, I think it's very clear that you're so passionate, and we talked earlier about just like I love the fact that we are both at a place right now where we're helping people, and I feel like this show is kind of similar to you and your group, where a lot of the reason why I do this is because I know that it's fun. It's something that I can do that can help start a conversation around all these other areas of business assistance, because after starting, my law firm and getting, clients the first several months, I've learned that if you're just starting out and you want an attorney to help you, that's great and we can work together. But I know that I can only do so much as
Correct.
an attorney to help your business thrive.
Correct.
And so I love that you're such an open book with everything that you put out there. Now, you have a huge group, and I know that people in there know about your webinars.
I guess.
And there might be some people watching this now that maybe have heard about your courses and are maybe kind of on the fence about a purchase. And I know they're not super expensive anyways, but do you happen to be running any like deals right now in terms of those webinars? You, like me, like I know that neither of us are really big fans of providing discounts all the time, and we both kind of respect what it is that we're offering. But I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Is now is anything going on right now?
No, you're putting me on the spot. I don't really have anything. Not just right now. I don't really do, discounts or anything like that.
I respect it.
I guess maybe pretty much when I launch a new course, I may do an introductory offer, like pre-sell, if you will. But I will say this. I'm trying to think this through. 1 second. Like you said, there's probably some people on the fence or just really interested in it.
I totally respect the fact that you don't, go there every single weekend with here's a 70% off discount.
And I think when people do it, it's fine. It's their gig. It's just not mine, including my regular e-commerce business. It's not something I usually do. But I will tell you this. So if, I'm not trying to be, cheap at all, but I could say this for today only, if you think it's okay. Okay. If somebody's on the fence, and they want to buy, either the Etsy SEO webinar or the Amazon one, because they both, encompass SEO in 2 different platforms. If they buy it today, it's today only, I'm going to do it. Let's just say, okay, if they buy it today, I will give them, I'll give them 2 things for free. Let me explain. Okay. One is my marketing inserts package. I'll explain to you what that is in a second. They'll get that for free. Also, they'll get my All About Conversions course for free. So the marketing inserts package is pretty much, when you're like selling product and you have inserts that you put in your packages for customers, regardless if it's a thank you note, something to push your email list, something to push your social media. Yeah. Whatever. I have a package that technically you could buy separately that has a whole bunch of templates in there.
Oh, cool.
And the best thing about that is once you're in, and I will always update it with new ones. So it's unlimited amount. You could also request certain templates and I'll be happy to make it for you. So once you're in, you have access to it for a lifetime, even if I upgrade it, which is awesome. So that's the marketing inserts package. And the other free thing I'll give, which I don't sell on its own, so that's kind of cool, is all about conversions course. So pretty much since we're talking about SEO, I thought of it. People want to get found in search, which is fantastic, right? That's why they're here listening to this. But I also understand it's not that they don't want to get found in search. They also want to sell. That's why we're all here. So while SEO could help you get found in search, and usually that correlates with sales, not always, it isn't always, right? Because maybe your photos suck or, your description suck or whatever. So this All About Conversions course helps you make your listings convert better. It's as simple as that. And again, I don't sell it separately. So I'll be happy to, again, I'm not going to give a discount, but if you buy the SEO webinar or the Amazon webinar today only, I can give those two things for free. And if you buy it, what I'll do is I'll manually go in, probably be within an hour or so. I'll add those to your account.
I think that's awesome. So yeah, and if watching this video has made you kind of seem or kind of get a better understanding of the fact that SEO should be something that you should be getting help with, you can buy. There's two kind of relevant courses that you can get on the website, and then either one of those, it sounds like, will have these add-ons attached.
Yeah, so regardless if you buy one or both, either one, you'll have those add-ons attached. I'll have to manually give it to you because you just kind of put me on the spot. I just added it right now. So I'll manually give those to you, again, for today only. If you go to thehandmademastermind.com and click on courses on the top, then you'll find the course that you want, either the SEO webinar for Etsy or the Amazon, which, by the way, the Amazon is an all-encompassing course it's a complete training of Handmade at Amazon, so it's not just SEO.
That's awesome. Okay. And I have one of those courses linked up in the description of the video.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, if you go to thehandmademastermind.com and like you said, go to courses, you can find all of them. Yeah. Cool. Well, I wanted to end things. I know that you and I had talked about a challenge. I like doing challenges in these shows because I think they're a lot of fun. And it's nice to kind of give people a push. So, Dalia, you and I, like I said previously, we talked about this idea of when it comes to SEO and search terms, doing thinking about descriptors of your business that people could search, but also thinking about the ways that people use your product or service. And so Dalia and I were thinking about like a fun challenge we could do. And the challenge is, I'm calling it the 5x5 challenge. So if you email me at joey@indylaw.com, your challenge responses, you'll get entered into a contest on my end with Indy Law. So the challenge is to email me 5 search terms that describe your product or service, and then also 5 search terms that describe the way that your target market would use your product or service. So 5 search terms about the descriptor and 5 search terms about the way that people use your product or service. If you're catching this live and you kind of missed our discussion about that earlier, go ahead and listen to earlier in this video where we kind of broke that down. But if you, I did this challenge once before and gave away, I kind of raffled off consultation calls. And so I want to do that again. And if you guys do this, then I'll take the people who take me up on the challenge and raffle off at least one free consultation call with Indy Law.
Can I add something onto that?
Yeah.
I just feel like doing it because it's fun. Whoever you choose, tell me, I'm just thinking of it right now, so I may come off as incoherent, but it's whoever you choose that you're going to choose to win, right? That will win a free call with you, you said?
Now you're putting me on the spot. Okay.
No, it's okay. I think it's kind of fun. Why not? I feel like I want to do something too. If the person you chose to win, if they have purchased one of my webinars today, okay, I will refund them their money and they get it for free. Okay. So I think that's kind of cool. But obviously you have
Wow.
to purchase.
So if people purchase today,
Right.
then
Well, they not only get the free add-ons I mentioned.
then the winner gets a refund for the price of the webinar, which is all that you're charging.
Right now, okay. Yeah. So now, if you choose a winner that did not purchase my course, which is fine, you could obviously ask them whatever. But you could choose another one. You could choose another one for the 5x5 challenge that I will be happy to refund them. So somebody will win a free course, right? And again, you get to choose. So
cool. I think that sounds awesome.
That's fun.
So yeah, I'll write that challenge up in the description
Sure.
in case we weren't really speaking in English there.
No, I
but to kind of clear it up. Oh, Misty makes a good point. She says middle names ? Exclamation point smiley face.
Yeah.
So yesterday I asked people. I said try and guess what Dalia and my middle name is, and someone, I don't know how, got Dalia's middle name, and it's what Salah.
It's Salah, and I said, okay, bonus points from me if you know what it means and why that's my middle name. And I'll just tell you right now. So yeah, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm sure Google has something to do with it because my regular name is not very common. So I'm sure that's how probably they found my middle name. But so in my culture, for the most part, our middle names are usually our dad's names. So that is my dad's name. Salah. People call them Sal, you know.
Okay.
So it's my dad's name, and the reason why that is my middle name is because traditionally, in my culture, our middle names are the dad's name, and my kids, their middle names are their father's names. So that's the story behind that.
I love that.
I guess.
That's a cool way to kind of bring the family name back.
Yeah.
Nobody guessed my middle name. It's Caesar. Misty, I think, was the one that guessed Charles. And so Caesar does mean Charles in Italian. In Sicilian, it's actually pronounced Cesare. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it's spelled a little differently. It's Cesare. I don't know anybody who has that name. So I figured nobody would have been able to guess it. But yeah, so that was our little challenge. But the real challenge is to send me your responses to that 5x5 challenge. Again, you can just email that to joey@indielaw.com. Excited to see your guys' responses there. And Dalia, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks. I had so much fun. I love talking about SEO.
I can tell. Well, I think that you do a really good job of doing it and kind of contextualizing why it's important in the industry that you're running in.
Thanks.
So, all right, you guys, if you didn't catch this live, feel free the entire time to just love on Dalia if you're in her group, because I know that it tends to be what happens in her own group when she goes live, is there are just lots of hearts and hi Dalias that just kind of roll through the whole time. So love seeing that. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you next week. All right, thanks, Dalia. Bye.
Bye.